Hello, welcome to the Stubborn Tortoise podcast. I'm Donna Pazdera. I'm sitting here with no makeup on, and yeah, what can I say? It's Monday morning, and I just realized that I needed to record the opening of the podcast because I didn't do it when I spoke with Hundo yesterday. So here I am. But yes, this is a Paz and Hundo episode, and we talk about our favorite things in terms of staying dry, cool, protected, comfortable in the heat, because thank God it's coming. It's coming. Yeah, the weather here is finally broken, and I'm pretty happy about that. And also, I just want to let you know that you are looking at the advisor for the best student magazine in the state of Texas. So yes, El Espejo, the magazine produced by my students at Texas A&M San Antonio, won overall best magazine on Saturday morning. It was and what's really cool about this award, the fact that we won, is that we are competing against like the big names in college journalism, such as Baylor and UNT and UT and you name it, and UTRGV, which is my old school, that actually took first place last year. So it was kind of a sweet moment, and I was definitely very animated and excited as I literally ran to the podium to grab the award because I did not have any of my former staff members in attendance at this thing because they'd all graduated. So somebody had to go grab it. And so and everybody's looking at me and I'm like, okay, I guess I have to go get this, don't I? But yeah, so it's very exciting, and we are a very small program, and so in a very young program. And so I think it's pretty important and says something about, the caliber of our journalism program at A&M San Antonio. So I think all told, Jaguar Student Media took home 40 awards this weekend. So that's pretty amazing. And so many congratulations to all of our students and, the people who competed in on-site contests and took home some pretty nice awards as well. So yeah, it's kind of fun. These contests are sort of like, it's like a UIL meet. I don't know if people in other parts of the country have UIL. I'm not even sure what it stands for or something, but it's like in high schools, they have like these, you can compete in debate, science, math, journalism, et cetera. And this is basically just with all journalism kids across the state of Texas, and we all converge, for several days. This was up in Fort Worth, and yes, we all converge up there. And well, I flew in on Friday because I'm important like that. Just kidding. But yeah, so so everybody goes up there and they, compete in live contests, and they go to workshops and they socialize and network and all that stuff. So it's really cool. I mean, it's kind of a geek fest. And it's so funny when the awards banquet happens on Saturday morning. We had these big tables of, I think we took up 3 tables for our entourage, and and so whenever a particular school won, their group would be like, whoa, and it was just hilarious, and of course I was right there with them, pumping my fist in the air, standing up and screaming. You would think that I actually won something. And I mean, but it's just that exciting when you see your own students, who again, that many of these kids are first generation college students. They are, oftentimes working at least one job. Sometimes they have families of their own. So we're a little non-traditional in that way. And to see people, I hate to say that they have some odds against them, but I mean, compared to students at some of the bigger schools and, with certainly more people and more resources, and I'm comparing this to my experience when I taught at University of Florida, and this is no knock against those guys, but most of those students that I taught up there were on scholarship, and most of them didn't work, so like very different lifestyle. And so to see a bunch of commuter students basically pull this off. I think this says a lot about them, and I think they're going to, this definitely is giving them some skills for when they do graduate, and they're going to be the ones that the employers want, because they know how to multitask, they know how to meet deadlines. They, not to say that the other ones don't, but I think that because my students overcome some odds that other students don't have, I think that's going to be an advantage for them. So again, it's very exciting. And sorry, I just had to jump on my soapbox about that. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Here's Paz and Hundo. We are recording. It's Paz and
Hundo in the house, live once more with my good friend Donna Pazdera on the Stubborn Tortoise.
That's right, the Stubborn Tortoise. And also, I just have to throw out for the immediate, gratification. I don't know what that is, but you were looking at the advisor for the best student magazine in the state of Texas.
Oh, big major award.
That was amazing.
Congrats.
I was crying yesterday.
Every year you stress on that magazine every year, and
every semester. It's not even a year.
That's right, because you have classes on fall and spring. But I remember way back, 4 years ago that you started there, and you were looking for a name for the magazine, right? And you had several choices, and El Espejo really, you said
that was my idea.
That's got to be the one right there, because that's
because
perfect for our culture, for the kids, for where we're from, South Texas. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I wanted a reflection.
Yes, kudos to you and your staff and
mainly my staff. I mean, I'm proud. I mean, I just, as I told somebody earlier, it's like I just kind of like throw the car keys to the students and just let them drive, and I sit in the back seat and I'll yell at them if they're like doing something bad. But most of the time I want them to be, kind of being daring and I mean, God, they're college students, for heaven's sake. So just go out there and, push the envelope, for heaven's sake. So anyway, so that was yesterday. And I was an embarrassing freak of nature. Not really. No, but somebody caught me actually running up to gather the award.
You need to mix in that video with your podcast, with your YouTube
actually, that's
channel.
A good idea.
You gotta mix that in. That's great. Great stuff.
Out.
Great stuff. A pure emotion.
It was hilarious.
The release of all that. I was
like crying, running, and
that was good.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the first time that a magazine that I've advised has won best in the state of Texas. I just need you all to know that.
Throw that in there subtly.
Yeah, no. When I was advising Panorama at UT Pan American back in 2006, I think it was my first year as advisor. I had an editor-in-chief who decided to quit 2 days before he finished production because she needed to concentrate on graduating. And so I'm just like, oh my God. 4 days before we completed production, no one had designed anything. And so I'm on the phone yelling expletives into the phone to each of the designers, like, where are you? Let's do something, and blah, blah, blah. Well, anyway, and I broke out in hives. I was crying. I was just hysterical. It was a nightmare. Fast forward a couple of months, and I'm sitting there at the same conference that I was at yesterday. I mean, only a different year, but and Panorama, it won best in the state of Texas. And I sat there and cried. I mean, it felt like vindication. It was just so incredible. So, I mean, I know contests are very subjective, and so I try not to put too much weight into them, but nonetheless, I was just kind of like, oh my God, this is so amazing.
Like I always say, somebody's gonna win, might as well be us.
Exactly. No, exactly. And altogether, I know this is not about running, but we're getting there. Jaguar Student Media, which is A&M San Antonio, are three outlets. Anyway, our three outlets. I can't do it.
All
Anyway,
three of them.
I do not want to do the white power sign. Anyway, our three outlets took home 40 awards yesterday, which is pretty gosh darn amazing. We are a very small program and we're a very new program. I mean, we've only been around for probably, 10 years or less. And, we are in a division 5, as they call it, which is like a lot smaller schools than where I came from. And, but for General Magazine, you're all lumped in together. And so to beat out the bigs like Baylor and UNT and some of these
Playing with the big boys, playing with the big boys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for that to win, oh my God, I was just like, it's huge. It's huge. And I felt really, really good about that issue. And last year we came in 3rd. So I felt like that's, we're making progress. And it's funny because my former employer took 1st place last year. This year.
Boom.
Anyway, but I was still clapping for them yesterday at the awards ceremony because I feel like I'm kind of 2 worlds, because it's like I still feel like this part of the Rio Grande Valley. And then I also feel like, I'm part of San Antonio. And so I know it's hard for people to imagine, but it's like, even in running or, academically or, whatever, it's hard, I don't want to, anyway, shut up, Donna. Anyway, hey, so
well, so that is a good segue though, because, you're tying yourself into 2 worlds, but through running, I have known you in those 2 worlds. So it all circles around, it's a small world. And so we get to share in both our successes, not just in running, but in our regular routine out there in the real world. But yeah, it all goes back to running and relieving our stresses from work, in the running, on the trails, on the roads. And then so now, as you're like me celebrating a major, major, major accomplishment, that comes back to now it's getting hot outside. And what are we going to do about running in the heat? Because
I love it. Oh my God.
I love the heat for
It's
now
weird.
until it's like September and we're like, can it get cold again? But yeah, so
I really
Donna,
don't care about that anymore.
Yeah. So what shall we discuss about running
In the heat? Yeah. So finally this week we got into the 80s and it's kind of staying there. And so I think we've finally gotten out of the freezing our faces off, cold, which I was feeling, like 3 short weeks ago up in Kerrville, or not in Kerrville, Camp Eagle, and yeah, so I've got some ideas, because running in the heat is really challenging. And so I've got some visual aids I was going to share. One thing I love, I know I need sponsors also. Waterloo water.
There it is. I was wondering if you're going to bust out that grapefruit Waterloo can. There it is.
I love it so much. It's the best. I drink way too many of these, but it's good. Better that than, I don't know what, but it's great. Yeah. And I think they're based in Austin, and I really need to get in touch with them about being a sponsor because
please.
I feel like that would be very valuable. So anyway, so there's that. But don't put that.
Donna, is it sparkling water? What is it?
It's sparkling water, and it's infused with grapefruit flavor. So I think it's more of like when you come back to your drop bag and you can guzzle something. I would not put this in your your pack or anything like that. Yeah.
Right, because of carbonation.
Yeah. I think the carbonation would probably, even if it falls flat, it would probably taste terrible. But as evidenced by my bedside, I've got like, a half dozen cans of this stuff sitting, empty cans of this sitting by my bedside because I drink it. However, I will want to give you God, English, please press 1 for English. Anyway, I want to give you guys I discovered this about a year or so ago. I don't know if anybody can see this, but it's
that Super Goop Unseen
sunscreen. Yes. And this is a wonderful sunscreen, ladies, for those of you who care. It comes out clean, or it's clear, okay? And you can put it on your skin. Here's the great thing. And it would act as a primer
Oh,
for makeup. I know boys don't care about this as much, but it's a SPF 40 and it does not irritate my eyes, which is very important because, well, as you can tell right now, I've got allergy eyes. So I look like, you know, but I've been using this for about a year or so and I love Unseen sunscreen. You can get this at Sephora, my cracked in.
sounds like a good little Mother's Day gift for my wife there.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh,
Kathy
wait,
would love
we're
this.
recording this, right? You might have to edit that out.
No. And yeah, so I mean, yeah, they also make one that's got like some shimmer to it, but I don't like that one as much. I just like the clear, so just as an FYI.
So do you use that for your body as well, or just the face?
You could, but I mainly use it for my face. Okay, like for body, I just use, you know, just like and I don't have it handy, but you know, like something by Neutrogena or you know somebody, you know, something you get at a drugstore. This you have to get it like a
Right. That's
probably a little more high end like Ulta or you know Sephora or online, Amazon.
we just use either copper tone or one of those that has like 110 SPF because you know down here in
Right.
South Texas that sun will kill you in about 20 minutes. So
Oh yeah,
we use that sweat proof, right? Copper tone and
yeah.
whatever the
This is
biggest number you
good.
can
I
find.
like this because it doesn't irritate my eyes because I've had a lot of problems because I wear contacts. And then it's like, you know, I start sweating and it gets in my contacts and I'm like, I can't see, you know, and so.
Yeah,
But
normally, and this goes with running in the heat, is wearing a cap or something
yes, head
cover
sweats.
cover the low profile here. But I usually wear a bandana in the evenings, and the other day I didn't wear anything, and so that sweat got into my contacts, into my eyes, and like a mile out, I'm like, I can't see anymore. The sweat's in my eye. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a drag. Yeah. So I mean, think about that. I do not have trail toes handy, but I did discover today, I did my little 6 mile run and I kind of felt like I chafed a little. Normally in the winter, I don't chafe, but in the summer, because, okay, you were talking to or looking at two of the biggest sweaters you're ever going to find. Okay.
And we don't mean the kind of sweater you put on in the wintertime.
No,
We're
no,
talking
no,
about
no.
a
We
person
sweat
sweats profusely.
like it's our job. Okay. Yeah. So it's crazy. So so we know what we're talking about here. We're not like these little dainty people that, you know, oh my hair, just, you know, I'm like, you know, I come in and I look like, you know, 2 miles and I look like I fell in a river. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah.
And Orly and I in fact, probably the photo I'm going to use is the one of us squeezing out the sweat out of
Squeezing out the sweat out of my sock.
with Norma
we've done that
looking
a
on
couple of places.
horrified. What's that?
Yeah, we've done that in a couple of places. We did that in your almost marathon run on 2nd Street. We took a picture of
Oh,
me
yeah.
doing that. And then we have one, I know I have it somewhere at Benton State Park.
That's the one I'm thinking about.
Norma
Yeah.
was with us and I'm
Norma's like,
the sock out and Norma's like, what the hell is that? Yeah.
I know. That was hilarious. I know. And thank God for Chris for taking that photo. So
Yes.
probably gonna be the cover art. So anyway, that's
great.
Ugh, yeah. So we're pretty gross. Yeah. I mean, once you start feeling your socks squishing in your shoes, I have not found a pair of socks, to be honest, that can handle an entire run for me. That goes over 10 miles. I don't know about you, but
Donna, I think we need some of your audience members that can give us some options because I've tried them all, man.
same.
I've tried them all, and no matter what, I can't find the sock.
Nope. I mean, I've got some that I like. I mean, I like not Dry Max, Jesus. Smart Wool. I love Smart Wool. Those are good. I like Injinji a lot. I mean, those don't get too soggy, you know, because they're made of wool. Which sounds weird, you know, wearing those in the summer. You're like, why would you wear wool? Ooh, you know, but
Yeah,
it actually kind of works out okay.
yeah.
But yeah, I've tried these Dry Max. I've tried, you know, Swiftwick. And again, this isn't to knock those brands, but it's like or Belega, I'm like, nope, nope, nope. They can't stand up to my sweating.
Right. So, I mean, right now I'm running with Beliga. I'm running with Darn Tough out of
Yeah,
Vermont.
those are good.
Using those, and I use those in the 100 milers. They do pretty well in the cold, and moderate temperatures. But like you said, post 10 miles or anything longer 10 miles in the heat and humidity with deep South Texas, when my socks are my shoes are
You
squishing,
just
like you
need a
said,
new pair. Yeah.
yeah, it's like just change them out. Like find a place where you can loop it, and then just after 5 or 6 miles, you start feeling them. They're soaked. Switch them out.
Yep. I agree. I agree. Yeah. So it's a challenge. I mean, somebody needs to sponsor us or give us like, stuff to test drive or something, test run.
Yeah.
Because I think, we'd be great candidates for that sort of thing. But
I mean, and we both used Exoskin as well. I think you use those too.
yeah, I like those a lot too. Yeah, those are nice.
Swiftwick.
Yeah.
Saucony has a little wool sock that we use too.
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah.
And they're okay, but again, deep into the mileage.
The Injinjis, I think the Injinji kind of woolly ones, those actually work pretty well on those summer races, like when we do the 30Ks or whatever. I found those to be less, soggy when I get done, or I don't need to change out my socks when I get done. So there's that. The other thing I was going to suggest for anybody is, see, I've got visual aids, because I've talked about this for a while. Janji, okay, Janji makes these insanely light singlets.
Show us the label. Janji.
Yeah, and a part of the proceeds go toward providing water for people around the world. And I wear a size small just in case anyone cares, and I'm not like an especially big person, but just small. I like these because they don't stick to your skin. Like I love Rabbit, and I love some of the other brands, but I have to say sometimes when you get really sweaty, and I'm very self-conscious about my body, so because I do not have.
Me too. That's why I don't typically wear running tanks, right? Singlets.
Yeah, I would recommend that for you because I think you'd like it because it fits a little looser. Because the problem I have with most brands is that they cling, and so I get very self-conscious about my stomach because I do not have an ironing board flat stomach.
Hello, Clydesdale over here, the husky runner, quote unquote.
Exactly.
And then all this hair that was up here is now here, and here, and here. So if I wear a singlet, I got hair sticking out the top, sticking out of here, sticking out of here. And if I wear, like you're saying, it's like a skin tighter one, and it's light and colorful, now you see all the fur through the shirt. So I can't wear any of that stuff, Donna. I'm always wearing dark and normal sleeve shirts because of that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You don't want to see Sasquatch out there on the trail. People get scared.
They're gonna be, who's that bear?
I'm like, there's a bear.
Hang on real quick. I'm gonna try to share that. Yeah, I'm gonna try to stop it. I'm gonna try to share this screen with people in case they are watching this on YouTube.
On YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, so there it is. Yeah, there it is. And then like the women's, what's the thing I like? Tops. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Hey,
ho.
I think it's called the APO. Or AFO. I think that's what it's called.
Well, they got some styling colors.
They do. They're really nice. Well,
the
thing about these guys is they tend to like their inventory is like limited, so you may have to, but yeah, there's something called AFO. I don't know, but anyway, it's that very light fabric that I absolutely love. And I actually inherited a couple of these from my sister, and I was like, oh my god, I've got to have these. So They're not cheap, but they're, I don't know. The way I look at it is like, okay, if you're going to be doing this stuff for any length of time, then, invest in it. So,
Invest in it. Yeah,
yeah.
especially if like us, we sweat a lot, so we're really looking
Well,
for
and
high
again, the fit
quality.
is really nice. Again,
Good fit, high quality, hides the bulges a little bit, and
exactly. And it's just
and it's
light.
light, right? And that's actually one of the points I have here is wearing lightweight clothing, especially when you
Yes.
sweat a lot, because you're gonna. I mean, it's not like you're gaining 3 pounds. It's already in your body, right? So, but
Right.
just that feeling of a heavy fabric that's full of sweat just doesn't feel well
Oh no,
in
you just
long
feel like you're
run.
running with
So
a rug,
yeah, so you want to have something lighter, lightweight.
Okay, the other thing I've got, and I've not tried this yet because my sister gave this to me about a year or so ago, is a towel.
Cool towel.
Yeah, cool towel. And you can dip this in ice water and, wrap it around your neck where you could maybe even, use it as, oh shoot. Well, I
Yeah,
can't
blindfold yourself.
use
Go
it as
ahead.
a blindfold, but you could also, you can also use it, use it as a head wrap maybe, or a
Yeah,
pageant sash. I'm just
there you
kidding.
go.
But
But you know what, Donna, that would work great. For example, at the
Captain Carl's.
what's that one in Reveille Peak in April or late March?
Oh, Pandora's.
Pandora's Boxer Rocks, because you get to the top of that granite dome and it seems like it's always hot that day. And if you have that Mission cool towel, right? Yeah. And right before you head up,
Endura.
yeah, right before you head up, they'll have a aid station right there, and they'll usually have like ice and ice water. Dunk that thing there and take it with you. So when you get up on top and super hot, you have something to
I
cool
know.
yourself with. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that and any of the Captain Carl summer races, because that's, also if you don't have one of these cooling towels, the other thing I definitely recommend is to wear a cap and fill it with ice. I know it sounds horrible and it's going to hurt a little bit at the beginning, but throw it on your head. Oh my God, it's going to feel so good.
Yeah, gotta cool down those
Also,
arteries, cool down that
throw
core
it,
temperature.
ladies. I had Dale Kugat. He threw ice down my sports bra one year. That feels pretty good, ladies. Not.
You can also put it down the backside, down in the crack. You open them shorts and dump it in there, and it'll cool
I haven't
everything
tried
off.
that, but okay, I'll take your word on that.
Yeah, in my first ever marathon in Edinburgh,
Oh Jesus, that thing.
the Fiesta, it was called back then. It was
Fiasco, yeah.
13 and a half loop that you did twice, and it was literally 98
Oh,
or 97.
oh, it's horrible.
And I was out there
I
at
remember
mile
that.
17, hallucinating, going like about to die. And I just remember Herman was there. Herman Madrazo from Valley Running Company. He says, Orly, what? I'm gonna do something. Just don't worry. Okay. I didn't care anymore. I was like squatting down. He just pulled open my back of my shorts, and he just dumped that ice in there. But
it helped. You finished.
Yeah, cooling that core, because your spinal cord goes down in there, and that woohoo.
Woohoo.
So, that's
yeah. I mean, for those of you who really don't like, looking like a drowned rat, don't do summer races. That's stupid. Okay, sorry. Because you're gonna, and so
sweat. You're gonna feel gross.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to like, whoa, hey, there goes a hair. You're gonna have to like throw that, what do you call it? Like your sense of decorum out the window. I'm trying to think of what else there is that people should know. I mean, also, I think do not. Okay, I learned this the hard way. Don't freeze your pack. Okay, so if you've got like a vest. And it's okay to freeze the pack itself, okay? Don't freeze the hose, because if you do, nothing will come out of the hose. Kathy was with me one time when I discovered this, much to my horror. So it's not a bad idea to freeze your bottles or your, the little hydration, pack that you stick in the bladder. Sorry.
The bladder, right.
Thank you. I can't think of what it's called.
But not the hose.
But not the hose, yeah. Because
well, I mean, I mean, it's okay if you're down here and you know within half a mile the ice is gonna melt.
Well, I
But
was there then.
if you're in a temperature where it's gonna take a longer bit of time for that ice to thaw, yeah, probably not a good idea because
No,
you'll
but
be
I
thirsty
did
as
I
well.
did that in the valley and it was
Oh,
bad. So it was like
you must have frozen it solid.
I did, and it was like, I can't get out, oh my God. And yeah, so yeah, my recommendation is not to freeze the hose. But yeah,
Oh, okay. Well,
but
there you go.
anyway, that's just my advice.
So what about, because everybody's gonna be running 2, 3, 4, fivers. That's not too much of a hassle in the summer. But when you start getting into your long runs, 10
Over
plus,
10, yeah.
so some recommendations for long runs. I would say, if at all possible, if you can split it. I know both you and I are kind of advocates of why run a 20 miler in the hot summer when you can do 10 in the early morning and 10 in the evening and still get your mileage in, but at least stay healthy, right? Because doing a 20
But
miler late in the morning or too early in the afternoon, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough if you don't have water available, cold water, food, things to keep you going, changing your socks, having trail toes to lube all the parts that are gonna be soaked with sweat. So yeah, you want to be careful with all that. If you can, set a loop. If you must do a lot of miles, run a loop. Have yourself a little aid station with your
yeah,
vehicle or
that's
something
what
with
we used to
ice
do. Yeah.
chest and your food and stuff, and you come back to it and you can do all those things.
I
Be
think
safe.
splitting the day is kind of problematic though, because it's very easy to, get to the evening and you're like,
Oh no, I'm done.
I don't need to do this. I'm
Yeah, I don't do.
tired. I'm,
Yeah.
I got stuff to do.
So yeah, it
Um,
takes a bit of discipline.
yeah. The other thing I recommend, this is what I used to do. I used to freeze, small Gatorade bottles and like throw them in the bushes, like on Second Street. Like if you're going to do a big long loop, is just to freeze bottles of,
Dash your stuff.
yeah, yeah, and just stash it somewhere. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but if you don't have, a loop that you can go back to and treat your car like an aid station, where you have a cooler, full of, stuff like Coke. I love Coke on long runs, and Gatorade and cookies and chips and all that, fun stuff. Um,
Yeah.
but if you don't have any of that, then you need to you know, think about options, and yeah, that's what I
Right.
used to do.
So yeah, or I mean, if you can find a loop that has quite a bit of shade in there, that'd be also really nice to have some shade. Get
Yes.
out of that direct sunlight, because man, I know down here, woo man, that's even right now already. That sun hits you like, and it
Oh, I
stings
know.
already. It stings. It's hot.
I
We
know.
went out
Well,
running last Sunday, Kathy and I, in the afternoon. I mean, it was like 72, 73 degrees. Felt great. Then we go to the park and no shade. And like, no, 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 because that sun was cooking.
yeah, yeah. No, I get it. I mean, I think I got a little bit of
Yeah, I got a little bit of
a
sweat there.
sunburn today, even just with my little 6 miler, so it's like, yeah, be careful. Yeah, you can never carry too much water, I don't think so.
Yeah, especially if you're doing.
Also carry salt tablets. I think that's also salt stick. That's the one I go to. That's my go-to. They're chewable. I think they might have an orange flavor, and yeah, don't, yeah, because otherwise your hands are gonna puff up and you're, ooh, it's gross.
Yeah,
And you don't
yeah,
want to throw up.
yeah. You don't
Stay
want to get
hydrated,
to a
because
place.
I'm a puker. Okay. I did not know this about myself until a few years ago when we did Pedernales that one time. And there I was 5 miles from the finish of a 30K. I could not continue. I was delirious. I was throwing up. It was ridiculous. And I was like, I'd never had that happen. And so, dehydration is real. So just try to, you think you might be on top of it, but just keep drinking.
Well, the thing is, we think we're on top of it, right? But in our brain, it's like, okay, what I drank will last 2 hours, but out
Yeah.
there, it's gonna last 30 to 40 minutes.
Right.
And you're thinking in your head, no, I have enough for 2 hours. No, you don't. You have enough for about 30 minutes because you and I sweat. So if you don't keep fueling up, regardless of what you think in your head, then we get to that place where, it's too late. We're already past that point.
Right.
And yeah, I've been there too, where I'm like nauseated, and I'm like, this is not good. I'm behind. And you and I have learned over the years kind of what that feeling is like when we're getting to that
And I'm
place.
still learning.
Well, sometimes the excitement, and you think about the trail, and you
Or
think
you
about
don't think it's that
everything else.
hot. Yeah. And
It's-
then, I mean, I was puking at Wild Hair a year ago, not this past year, but the year before. And I was like, the hell is wrong with me? But it was just like, I just wasn't staying on top of it, even though it's slightly cooler. Also, just I think something to put in your cooler drop bag or whatever is watermelon. Watermelon is the greatest.
Watermelon is like ambrosia, man.
It really
When
is.
it's hot outside, you can get some cold watermelon. Woo, woo. It's good stuff.
Yes. Oranges and grapefruits are also very good.
You know what? I've never tried grapefruit on running. Oranges for sure. Like at Snowdrop, they have those sun-kissed oranges. Oh my God.
Yeah, grapefruit, if you can get the sweet
heaven.
kind. Yeah, you don't want to get those white, because that's kind of nasty. But I don't know. I've just kind of found grapefruit to be okay. But I just remember the story somebody told of Pompilio, God love him, at a Captain Carl's race, and they had run out of watermelon, and he picked up the tray and just
drank it.
Just drank.
Yeah, I think David Zuniga saw that, or I think it was
David or Ben. Yeah, pinche Ben. Yes.
Yeah, like they saw him just. Now everybody's hands had been in there, and he just.
Well, this is pre-COVID, so nobody cared.
Yeah, he just drinks
Back
that.
then, we were just trail runners. We didn't.
Whatever juice was in that tray, he just drank it.
Yeah, and I can understand that. I mean, I really can. Pickle juice is also a very useful helper. And it's funny because I think the first time I did pickle juice was completely by accident. It was at Rocky Raccoon 50K, probably about 5-6 years ago. And I stopped by the aid station and I saw this little, snack cup. It was filled with this not orange, geez Louise. It was filled with this yellow liquid. It was not pee. And I thought, ooh, Mountain Dew.
Because it sort of looks like Mountain Dew.
It does. And I was like, did the whole shot. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, you know what? That's pretty good. I like it. Yeah.
Well, it helps. It saved me. Brussels been 50 miler 3 years ago before COVID. Yeah. Because I was way behind. I locked up. My back was already like convulsing. The muscles were this was after 50K. And I'm just like leaning on the bed. It's like, it was just everything was locking up. And I finally loosened up enough to kind of hobble through it. And here comes Steven Monty coming down the back way, coming back to me, dragging that tire. Hey, Orly, Steve, what's going on, Monty? He's like, fine, blah, blah, blah. And I said, dude, I'm done. I'm going to quit. What? Like, I'm locking up. And you hear the tire. And it stops. Nothing but silence. And he looks at me, drink some pickle juice. It keeps going. I'm like, what? Like at the aid station. And where's the pickle juice? Right here. I just downed the whole
stuff is amazing. I know. Don't knock it, folks.
The whole thing. I think I did like probably 2 bottles, equivalent of 2 bottles. I didn't like the taste, but I just drank it. And then 20 minutes later.
Yeah, I know. You feel like
back in action.
Balloon inflating. Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. Yeah, and I would have never imagined that. And I sometimes have people when I work at the aid stations, and they're all just like, well, no, I don't want that. I'm like, don't knock it till you try.
There for a reason. Yes.
Exactly. So is there anything else you can think of? I mean, I think I've pretty much run through my inventory.
We talked about clothing, wearing a hat, wearing a visor, shades. You want to keep your eyes protected. Those of us that are getting a little older, we need to, block those UV rays. So a nice pair of Gooders. Hello, shameless plug, Gooders. Or the other one that you wear.
Sunski.
Shady rays, any of those work. Running slower.
Story of my life.
Slower. I mean, we're already slow, but can't much run slower. But for those of you guys that are fast and think you're going to go out 6-minute pace in the summer, in Deep South Texas, might want to back it off just a bit.
No.
Running by effort, right? Running by effort. How does it feel? If you feel like, oh boy, then yeah, you need to watch, pay attention to your body. I also put here dew point.
Oh God, the dew
Everybody
point.
talks about humidity, but that dew point is part of the humidity and how it will affect you, right? So
yeah, in the valley, it's called the dew point. Yeah.
Yeah, and so down here in Mission McAllen area in the summertime,
Ugh.
that dew point, which means the actual temperature where a dew will form, is up in the like 76,
77
degrees. Brownsville like 79 degrees, right? When that's that high, and there's charts on the internet you can find, they pretty much recommend for you not to run at all.
Yeah.
It's too high for you for your sweat to evaporate. Your sweat will stay on your body, it won't evaporate, so you're just a mess. And so in the wintertime it's different. That dew point might be at 59, 30. Right? 58, 57, but the temperature's also in there, so it's a little cooler even though it's humid. So you got to watch that. In the summertime it's pretty dangerous when that dew point gets up above 74, 75.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, and it was very normal for it to be 77, and so we're all just like permanently, so it's like, what do we do? Start at like midnight?
Yeah. So what we do, or what I've done here in the Deep South Texas, in the Rio Grande Valley, is run in the evenings, because even though it's still 95, 94 at 7 p.m., but the dew point is down
lower.
71, 70, 72 instead of 78, 77.
I know. I'm
still
so jealous.
But the dew point is lower.
I know. I'm so jealous of people that live like in the high desert, because it's like they don't understand any of this, and so it's like people.
and this kind of crazy dew point goes from down in the Rio Grande Valley all the way up through Central Texas. So I mean,
oh yeah, no, I mean,
like
we get it here. It's not as bad, but it's pretty bad. I mean,
yeah. And then you get into in the Carp and Carl's races, you get out of the open inside the canopy where there's no wind helping you evaporate that sweat, and it gets challenging. I mean, for us slow guys, right? I'm sure the fast guys, they get in and out. They don't worry too much because
they're not out there all night. Yeah.
Yeah, but us guys that are out there a while, man, it's tough.
I was just talking to someone earlier who lives in Tallahassee and Florida, and we were talking about humidity in Florida versus here, and like what the weather is like. And I'm like, it's funny. It's like I never thought of Texas as a humid place, having come from Florida.
Right.
But oh my God, once you adapt, it's insanity, and like it's just, it will kill you, and so. I mean, I think some of it's climate change, but sorry, Hazel's just sort of like anyway. A goon.
Be bounding in front of the camera in just a minute.
No, he's happily on the floor. He's doing what he does. But anyway, what else do you have? Anything?
That's pretty much what I have. Is take it all in stride in the summertime. I mean, unless you have like a super major race that you're trying to qualify for or something, then of course, you got to do your
then train for it. Yeah.
Do your thing, right? But if you don't have to, I know several of my friends down here, we're backing off. Boston is over. So we're backing up. We're still training, right? But we're backing off the pacing, just having more fun within the summer, staying cool as much as possible, drinking. And then even when you're done running, you're at home lying around, water. Water, drink, keep that hydration going throughout the day, because it'll sneak up on you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I've come home after, I remember like years ago when we were running on 2nd Street, like in the evening, and like after like a 10, 12 miler or something, I'd come home and it'd be like 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, and I'd just be like throwing up, and it's like, good God, already have chills, so it's like, yeah, and that's dehydration. So just be really, really, cognizant of that, and don't underestimate that. But I think, staying on top of salt and, hydration and your calories, I think, that's the magic triangle.
Oh, and also like, what electrolytes are you using? Are you using like the normal stuff like Powerade, Gatorade, or are you going into some of the more exclusive stuff like Tailwind, Scratch, Liquid IV? those
Yeah.
products work, and it's all up to your taste and how much you need to take in. But all that's good stuff too.
But I think the big key is to always practice with it before you do a race.
Right.
Yeah, because
Uh,
once again, you never want to try something new at a race. I mean, yeah, sometimes you can take that risk and it might work out, and that's fine. But some of the time it's going to probably not work out in your favor. So anyway,
yeah.
just for what it's worth. So,
So that's running in the heat, man.
all
You know,
right. All right. Well, Hundo, thank you so much. And I'm sorry about the internet problems I had earlier.
that happens.
Nobody else knows about that. But yeah, I was just like, all of a sudden my internet went out. I was like, what the world? Anyway, I know. Anyway, it happens. Anyway, so all right. Well, we'll do this again soon. And thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Anyway, and I'm glad to see Piglet is working out well with Blanche,
Oh yeah, that's my boy.
the kitties.
My
Oh, he's
boy.
your boy. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm not lying down, he's on my side of the bed lying
Oh,
down.
so cute. I
He's
know,
a good
little.
guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a goodie. Yeah. So anyway, unfortunately, it looks like we're gonna have. I've got 4 pregnant girls right now, and I'm just like, I keep trying to get them all fixed, but it's just like I just don't have enough, appointments to do all this. So it's like, anyway, that's my cat colony story. That's another podcast. Anyway, all right, Hundo, thank you so much.
As always, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, same. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Oh, good. And the dogs started barking. Anyway, hope you found something interesting and informative out of that episode. It's always fun. I always like, these episodes where it's not just me sitting there talking. My running actually is getting a little better. I don't know what happened. I think some of it is I wasn't running very much. And so I went up to Fort Worth and I ran Saturday morning. I did just like almost 4. And I found a park. I think it was called Trinity Trails. And it's just this paved thing. It runs along the Trinity River. And I think it's flatter up there because my pace was looking good. And I mean, I kept getting hit, stopped by stoplights. And occasionally I'd stop and walk, but I mean, my pace, for that was like 12 something, which for me at this point in my career is like, wow, that's pretty good, And then I ran yesterday. I did 6 miles out here on the Greenway, and I think my pace was, again, 12 and change, so it's like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'll take it. And, and it's feeling good. So, so there's that. This weekend, I'm going up to Ohio, and I'm going to be participating in the equal vernal equinox. That's it, the equal equinox. Anyway, yes, in my hometown of Batavia, Ohio, and very excited to go up there. I don't think the weather's going to be all that great. It's going to probably be cold. Hooray! Just when we finally get out of it here, I get to go someplace where it's kind of how it was, what I was trying to escape. But oh well, what are you going to do? But it'll be great to see my family. I fly it on Thursday. I think the race is on Saturday, and I'm running the 8-hour version. And again, remember, I'm not going to be running the whole thing. I'll probably be walking. But my goal is to get more than a marathon. So, so I can at least, reclaim my ultra status. And so that's the plan. Yeah. And so I come back on Monday next week. So probably next week's podcast will be, a recap of that exciting event. So the forecast is looking a little bit better because boy, for a while it looked like it was like 85% chance of rain. And I was like, oh, that's not going to be fun, but it looks like it's getting better. So I'm relieved. So anyway, I think that's all I've got for now. I will see you next time. Have a great week.